first season was full of innocence, and the second season was full of coming to terms with the wreckage of what we've all done. Especially Mr. Pickle, Jeff.
You are a man in the box. You're a trusted brand. No one sees a man.
A lot of the show was about characters who hid from themselves, hid from the truth, and so I think that was. But Dave Holstein, I can't mention Michel Gondry without mentioning Dave Holstein, because this is his baby and his vision. The 2 seasons, I think Dave had such a clear connector. So for him, I wonder if you would ask him was there a big difference between the first season and the second season? I would imagine he would say no. So it was always so full of magic and innocence. And it was so consistently about, the idea of grief. And that there was that great line where he said, moving is not moving on. And, just the, like I just, as I was rewatching the series, I wrote Dave and I said, Dave, man, you made such a brilliant work of art, man. You created this, how I put it was, this, healing medicine for the culture, because everybody's so afraid to talk about loss and death and grief.
Yeah.
And I think this is very clearly what the whole series is about, is the price of running away from grief and or intimacy or love, because it's just too scary.
Do drugs!
Michel Gondry. First, let me start with him, and because he was there a lot in the first season, and for me, he didn't direct any of my episodes in the second season. Amazing visionary, and he just had, for me, we have a simpatico aesthetic, and so I loved his visions, and it was easy for me to trust him. And like I can tell you, I'm thinking of a scene on the bed where I'm revealing something to my wife, and he had us turn our backs to each other and spend the whole scene talking without ever looking. And it was a very intimate scene, and by all means, it seems like, this scene, we should be confronting each other, we should be facing each other. And he had this vision or dream or whatever, or idea, and that opened up something whole new for the scene. And it became a scene about privacy and about hiding.
And what about Jim Carrey? What can you tell me about working with him?
Jim Carrey, he's an alien genius. He's an alien mystic saint. He's this guy who he's got such a high standard, a work ethic, and a desire to make things good, and to make things deep. And here's this comic genius, who was introduced to the world as this physical comic who could do things with his faces, almost, as elastic as some of these puppets in the show. He could do anything, and then he becomes this dramatic actor, in things like with Michel's Eternal Sunshine, and I'm so impressed with him. He's present, he cares, he wants to do good work, he cares about the world, he cares about existence, like why am I here, what is our purpose, how do we be authentic, and this is a joy to be around people, and this is what, to me, this filled the series, born out of Dave's idea.
I'm happy for you.
Fuck you!
Let me know about working with the puppets, that we are supposed to think of the puppets as things that we have for children and we have in show for the children, but still you use them in such a clever way, such a smart way to tell us the stories, such absurd stories, so dark sometimes, so cynical sometimes. How was working with the puppets?
Well, for me, again, from my point of view, from Scott's point of view, the puppets were a great threat. They were taking my wife away from me, and she seemed to love them more than me.
Yeah.
And that's where all her creative energy and love went into. So to me, those puppets were like they were who my wife was cheating on me. And also, they were also the opposite of Scott in the sense that Scott was a very practical man. I was a travel agent, and in a world that no longer needs travel agents, so I was this redundant. And I was around, and this was also, I use this as my own, like, this is a TV series with Jim Carrey, Frank Langella, Catherine Keener, Judy Greer, Justin Kirk, these actors who I so respect. And so I was able to, and specifically Jim and Frank and Catherine, my admiration for them and my sort of being on the outside and being like the door is always closed between me and them, as for Scott, I was able to like draw upon that and like marry both worlds of my real life and the actual life.
We were having a conversation.
She has the opportunity to go where no puppet has gone before.
Space?
Well, first guess.
I noticed something, this is just a side story, that Astro Nutter went from being a boy to a girl during the series. Like Jim started kept calling her she, and Frank was like, "What the hell is going on?" Just like boy, and then he starts talking about gender fluidity, and that's like that little. The fact that I capture Astro Nutter of all the puppets, I mean, that's what we see the scene with, is me and Astro Nutter, because I seem to have this same thing. Like, who am I? Am I straight? Am I gay? Who do I, like, where do I fit in?
Yeah.
Astro Nutter's asking the same question in a certain way. And
Yeah.
so it's genius that Dave picks Astro Nutter that they filmed the commercial with.
This is really important to me.
I know, it's incredible. And that's why I'm not saying no. Blake Griffin is saying no. I'm saying go fuck yourself.
Let me know about the little actress that played your child. How much do you explain to her? Because her character is amazing, and she is like, I don't know, 8 years old, 7 years old, and it's so deep and so intense and carries so much within the story. Can you tell me how much, and did you explain to her, and how was working with her?
Oh, I agree with you so much. I feel exactly the same way about this other magical being on the show. I mean, just between you and me, she's my favorite. She's like, whenever she's on screen, I can't take my eyes off her. It was a wonderful set. Catherine is amazing, first off, as a mother and as a TV mom. She really mentored Juliet, and she like coached her and embraced her and got her comfortable, and was a little bit of a disciplinarian with her too, in the best of ways. Juliet is just amazing, and what was so good about the whole set was she was protected from all the things that might have been inappropriate. But she was also very smart, so she was always trying to figure out, what are you keeping from me? often used, like you talk to like with kids. This is an
Yeah.
elephant. You talk to kids and you let the elephant talk for the kid, and that's a way of giving them a distance to feel safe. But it's also, in adulthood, it can be a block to intimacy, which again is what this series is about. Is like we're flesh and blood human beings. We're not things to be molded and put in a box and labeled and used. We're live, lovely beings.
Yeah. Well, and are you coming for a third season? For me, the second season ends and it's okay. The story has come full circle. You can end it there. But are you coming for a third one? Are you discussing the possibility of more episodes?
Oh yeah, there's always those discussions. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's again. It's everything's on hold right now with the.
But there's more
the
coming.
Lockdown and the pandemics. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the official decision has been made, but everyone seems to think it was. It's so. It's received so well. So everyone believed